Hello and welcome to Cup of Joe. I'm Liz with Sea Level Social, and this is a motivational series with Joe Pettit of Joe Pettit Inspires and Kern Halls of Ingenious Culinary Concepts. We hope that you're enjoying today's episode. Is completely different than any that we've talked about. I'm really excited for this topic, and it's about confidence. The actual title of our episode is Reprogram the Unknown, so you'll know what that means in a minute. But to get us started, I would just love to hear Joe and Kern's thoughts on why do people struggle with confidence so much? It's not uncommon at all, and it's not just a school nutrition issue. So, Joe, to get us started, why do you think people struggle with confidence?
Well, I think I say wow because it really saddens me when I see it. I see it so often, whether it's speaking to students at school assemblies or whether it's going out to school nutrition departments. And as you mentioned, it's not just in this industry. I think it's humans in general really struggle with confidence. And I think if we really were to get to it, and the reason that I called it the reprogramming of the unknown is because I don't know a lot of people are aware, which kind of goes into our previous episode of self-awareness. I don't know that they're really aware that they have a confidence issue. and I don't know that they understand like really what's driving what they can't see. So maybe it's not as much even the unknown as the unseen, which we could talk about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, and we could get into all those different things. But the subconscious is like one of those things where you didn't really think about which shoe you put on first or which sock you put on first. You do it because you've done it for so long. And the same is true like when you go into a task or you're thinking about what you're going to do next. People just have been told that they're no good, or they feel like they're not worth it, or they feel like they have no value. Man, it just like it crushes me because I hate to see people lack in confidence. But I believe though that there's a way that they can kind of reprogram that. And I don't want to, get too far into it. But the first thing that I want to say before I want to hear what Kern, because I know we've all experienced, we've all seen it, but I just don't want people to try so hard to be like others. Like be you. You know what I mean? Be you.
Yeah, I think confidence just comes where it starts from a young age, right? So when we're born, right, we really don't have any fear, right? People start instilling fears in us, right? Because as kids, we're gonna walk around. You're like, hey, don't go there, don't touch this because it might break. You might bust your lip if you fall on a table. All these different things, and you start putting all these fears in you, and you start being scareful. So as you get older, it's automatically in you. So I remember a time when I first time had to speak in front of people, and it was probably like 15 people. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I was just kind of nervous. And then I kind of figured it along the way and try to get things going because, I was as younger, I grew up without fear. I did a lot of mischievous little things. My mom used to chastise me all the time. Like, boy, you are crazy. Like, I'll tell you this one story real quick. Like, I didn't know I was walking around and I had a knife and I stuck in an electrical outlet, right? And as you know, yeah, I got the shock of my life, right? I was looking like Don King when I got done. So it was, I didn't have any fear. I'm just like, shoot, I'll do it. It's not a problem. But I think as you get older and you start to self-develop, whether it be through books or whatever it might be, you start learning like, okay, I have some shortcomings in this area. So how can I improve? How can I get with someone else? How can I read a story? And I think it's just as we all, between Liz, yourself, I, and just everybody watching, is that we have different areas that we need to improve on and want to do better on, but sometimes we're just fearful of doing it.
Okay, I love that. And if you don't mind, I love that piece that you kind of set me up for my next question, Kern, was, and I know, Joe, you've got something that you're itching to say too, but I definitely, as you wrap up, Joe, can you give our audience and myself some takeaways on actionable takeaways on how to build confidence, because that's what Cup of Joe is all about, is what you can improve on immediately with you and your team. So with that, Joe, would you like kind of wrap us up there with that?
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to end it yet. Okay, so but what I do want to say is that everybody struggles with doubts at some point to some degree or another. Like everybody, when you go into something, you struggle just a little bit with it. Like, am I good enough? Am I going to make this? Am I going to do this right? And some of that can be a motivator. Like some of that can be a motivation to really come in more prepared. Like, and I'll just use this for example. Like as you talk about, Kern, about speaking, like I'll never forget the first time that I was actually paid and someone hired me to come in and speak. And I said, I knew I had material. Like I was like, this person wouldn't have reached out if they didn't believe in me. So the person that's asking me to come in believes in me more than me. And I got the biggest gut check of my entire life about my third or fourth paid speaking gig. I was really starting to doubt myself, like, and that confidence started to waver a little bit. And I have a saying, like it's do you believe? And that's always what I ask always, do you believe? Because if you believe it, then you're going to do it.
All right.
And my children, my teenage children, they looked over at me as I was telling them like what I was struggling with it. And they were like, do you believe? And I said, okay. I see you're trying to give Dad some of his medicine back in return. But what they were doing is that the reason that we say I believe, the reason that we say, we clap, clap, I believe, is because we're trying to reprogram that unknown. So don't buy into the doubts, but just say something like in our team at Charleston School District, everybody knows, like Joe has said for the last 4 years, our slogan is, we got this. It's not the best English, but in any time, any doubt, anything comes our way, we got this. Like that's the type of confidence that we want to see, because I believe that when you speak what you want from life and you believe it, then you can achieve it. So to kind of get us back to wrapping it up, I want you folks to really start listening to podcasts. I hear that School Nutrition Mastermind's got some podcasts they're about to release that's going to start to help feed you folks with some of the good, positive stuff that you need to hear from a school nutrition side of things. Whether it's podcasts from Ed Milet, Eric Thomas, Secrets to Success, shoot me a text, send me a message. I'll give you all of it that's in my library, because I believe the more you deposit the encouraging, uplifting stuff, and the more you read, the better you're going to get with your confidence. It's going to happen.
Okay, well, you wrapped up with my favorite thing, which is podcasts. So now we're never going to end this episode. So thank you for the shout out for Ashley Ritz of Project School Nutrition, and I host these weekly mastermind meetups on Facebook Live, and we have people that are really enjoying them. It's two school nutrition professionals sharing their story. We seek out people, especially that don't always get to share their story. So we really love it. We get the comment section rolling, but I thought, this is video and it's great and it's Facebook Live, but not everybody is on Facebook or is going to remember when it's on Facebook Live. So we're taking that video, that audio from it, and we're going to put it over to podcasts. So if you are into podcasts, and I highly recommend them, as does the Cup of Joe team, you'll be able to subscribe to it, and then it's like DVR. It's on your phone. It's right there for you when there's a new episode. And so if you miss a Facebook Live, you can listen on a podcast. So with that, I love that call to action, my favorite call to action yet, Joe, because I'm just such a fan. And so thank you so much for watching. If you hope you've enjoyed, especially these last two episodes on self-awareness and confidence. We're really excited, again, that we brought these topics on the show. So be sure to look out for new episodes every Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern. They are on Cup of Joe on YouTube, Cup of Joe on Facebook, and Ingenious Culinary Concepts on Facebook every Wednesday. Thanks so much.